How often do we ignore those updates when they come into our phones and our computers? And then one day we go to use our phone or our computer and it says, hold up, sister, I got 3 hours worth of updates. You're gonna have to just step off. The exact same thing happens with our bodies. Welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. Today I want to talk about how our bodies are like our electronics. I know it seems like a little bit of a leap, but it is something that I've talked about many times in yoga classes, but not so much here, so I thought today would be a good day to do a little chatting about it. As I said in that intro, we are all guilty of dismissing and snoozing those updates when our computer and our phone and our tablet say, hey, got updates, hey, got updates, and we say, remind me now, remind me tomorrow. I'm going to do it when I get a chance to do it. And every time it comes up, we're like, I don't want to deal with this right now, and you dismiss it, and then eventually it doesn't give you a choice anymore and it says this needs to be done if you want me to continue to function. And our bodies act exact same way. We are given these little notices, these little hints that there's something off with us on a daily basis. Sometimes we recognize them, sometimes we don't even notice them. We brush them off as just having slept poorly or having a cold or what have you, but really that's our body telling us that there's something a little bit amiss, something that needs to be taken care of, something that needs to be updated. And if we ignore it long enough, our body's going to shut down full stop and say, this needs to be handled, so I'm going to make it a significant event so that you will deal with it because you have no choice now. Sometimes we're lucky and it comes in the form of a cold or an allergic reaction or something like that. Other times we're not so lucky. Other times it's a significant medical event that takes us out for weeks or months or even years because we've been putting off so many of these updates for so long. And you may be thinking that I'm talking just about physical updates, like something's wrong with your knee or something wrong with your shoulder or your lung or whatever. But no, it's emotional stuff too. If you push emotional stuff down and not deal with it for too long, it's gonna bubble up, it's gonna take over, and it's gonna take you out at some point. Those updates, they need to happen. Sometimes even people need a hard reset, just as much as sometimes we need to reset our phones, turn them off, turn them back on, reset our modems for our Wi-Fi, our computers. Our bodies need that too. And if you're someone who meditates, who does self-care, who makes sure that they're getting enough rest, those updates can happen while you're doing those things. But if you're the sort of person who's pushing it all the time, doesn't get enough rest, lots of times proud that you're not getting enough rest, doesn't manage your stress, you don't ever stop, you don't give yourself any time, any downtime, it's only a matter of time before your body stops you for you. I know so many instances of people who pushed for so long and I could just see it coming and then something happened, took them out. Weeks, months, years. I have instances of all three, and I'm sure that it's because they just did not take the time to deal with these things. Of course, that's not always the situation. There's always going to be times when an injury or illness comes up that has nothing to do with anything that you've been pushing down or not dealing with. I'm not so crazy as to say that somebody getting a form of cancer or other type of disease or illness is because they weren't dealing with things. Sometimes it might be a contributing factor. Sometimes it's just plain old bad luck. Just because somebody is sick does not mean that they were not taking care of themselves. However, if you have not been taking care of yourself and then you did get sick, I'm pretty sure that the two are related. And sickness, it doesn't have to be a disease. It doesn't have to be an illness. It can be an injury, something that's been bothering you for months or years that you kept ignoring. A knee injury that ends up with you not being able to walk for months as you get rehab, all sorts of things. But I hope that if you're watching this and you're still watching this, what you will take away is that you need to give your body downtime. Just as much as our phones and computers and tablets need time to charge and to power up, they need time to complete updates. They need that downtime when nobody is using them to complete those things. We need those too. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is imperative. We need it. We cannot function well without it. If you are not giving yourself adequate time for rest, adequate time for self-care, for mental relaxation, stress resiliency, it is going to catch up with you. So that is all I have to say for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope maybe it's made you think a little bit, and I hope maybe this afternoon or this evening you'll take a little time to either plug in and charge up to install some of those updates, or do a hard reset and just shut everything down and restart it. Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's a bath, maybe it's a glass of wine, maybe it's a book, maybe it's just going the heck to bed. But I hope that you do find time for that because it is so very important. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.